Thank you, sir. Claire, you're speaking for against? You're speaking for against? That's what we are. Removal, I'm sorry. I got to keep those words straight.
Okay, so everyone, my name is Claire Zhang. I live on 184 Pepper Ridge Lane. So I am here to present the results of a survey I created 3 days ago.
That's not what we're here for today.
No, I'm listing the reasons.
The survey is not what we're here for today. You give your opinion of why, or what you think of reasons being these 4 members should be removed, not a survey opinion.
Questions?
Your opinion.
Questions?
If you have a question, it's fine, but don't.
Yeah, questions.
Nothing from the survey.
Okay, questions. Okay. So I do have questions about the reserve study. So the board claimed that
you have a question. We're not going to go over the reserve study. If you have an opinion of the reserve study that you disagree with, and that's where you want the board to be the option.
Yes.
That's what you need to talk about.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So the board claimed that the items that added to the reserve study, we haven't set a budget for them yet. Yes, which is true. Yes. And also the board claimed that we need to vote to spend any money on items over $120,000, right? Which is correct. Yes, correct. But the problem is any new item that is added to the reserve study, such as the basketball court, will raise our reserve contribution. So we are already paying for them. We are already paying for the basketball court. Well, in 2026. So if the board if the board adds items worth $1 million something to the reserve study, that will reserve our fee for probably about $100 every year. If it's $2 million, it will be $200 something every year. So yes, later on we will vote if we want to spend the money on it or not. But the problems will be already paying for them. So if say, for example, this item won't happen in 10 years, and we won't know. But we have already been paying for them for 10 years. That's the problem, right? So if, say, we vote no to those items, will the board give the money back to us? That's how it works. Yes. No. Okay, let the board confirm. Is that how it works? Every item that's been added to reserve study raise our reserve contribution. Is that true?
That's every year.
Yes, every year. Yes, exactly. Every year.
So every year the board takes the best data that they have available and they make solid financial decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So if this last year when we were doing the budget, we thought our best information was that we would have to replace our pool.
Mm-hmm.
So we put that into the reserve study because that's the best data we have available.
Mm-hmm.
What happens next year, if we now have new information that we're not going to have to replace the pool, then we can take that money out of our calculations and recalculate, which means that the reserve fund fee could very well go down.
Mm-hmm.
I think your assumption is that, we're at 600 and it's going to be 600 in perpetuity, or whatever the word is. But it's not. Each board will have to look at that. And that's why, you want to recall us, but what are the people who would take our place? What have they said they're going to do? And will they be able to do it? Because the reality is we have all of these facilities and operating expenses here, and it's we're aged. So every year we're going to calculate it, Claire.
Yes, true. Yes. But there are many homeowners from Florida, and they use their reserve studies too in their communities. But according to them, you have to follow proper procedures to add anything to the reserve study because we'll be paying for it. That's why you can't have the general manager or the board just add anything to the reserve study. You have to follow very proper, rigorous procedures For example, only the professionals, the reserve study professionals can add anything to reserve study. And that's how it's done in many communities in Florida.
But that's not how we do it here.
Things to be brought up during the budget process, not now.
Thanks, Conrad. Yes, sir.
Okay, well, but I guess the board just confirmed that yes, every item added to the reserve study will increase our contribution, right?
Now, what was said, Claire, I don't know how he does in Florida, because I'm not from Florida. I go down to Florida and enjoy vacation. The reason we have that reserve study, it is a tool and a guide. So we take the information we have and gather it to try to predict for the next year what we have forthcoming. It may or may not go all the way through. If it doesn't, I mean, that money goes back to the reserve if we don't spend it for future use. But the reserve study is a guide. It is a tool. It's not concrete. It's not set. Things can move. Things can change. We have the ability to do that of what happens first to prioritize our needs and what Land Harbor needs. That's how that works.
Well, let me ask one simple question. Let's say, for example, the batchable core is confirmed. It's already added to the reserve study. Does that increase our, is it considering the calculation of the reserve contribution?
It's in the budget for next year. Whether we use it or not is yet to be seen.
Well, no. I'm talking about reserve study. Is it?
It's in there. If it's not,
Yes,
don't use it.
and it does, and it did include the increase of our reserve contribution, right?
It could this year. If you take it out, it could decrease.
So yes, you see, that's what I'm saying. Yes, everything you add to it will increase our reserve contribution. Yes. Later on, if they take it off, yes, they will reduce.
We're not going to some of into the reserve study. We've already.
Okay, all right, that's fine. I already proved, but if you don't believe, okay, that's fine.
Thank you. All right, we need to go to condo voter. Do you have anybody for the